Yesterday on LinkedIn, I put a post up asking who wants to have a UnMarketing assessment or UnAssessment to their site. Well, some people stepped up to the plate. And here we go. First up, Stuart. You are lucky enough to be first. We're going to break down the unmarketing, the unselling, the unbranding of your website and whatever's connected to it to make sure that we can position you in front of your audience, especially since Stuart mentioned the hierarchy of buying, which I'll get into right now. So, unmarketing, unselling, and unbranding is a very basic concept for us, which is very simply that whatever we're doing, whatever the actions we take, however we treat potential customers, new customers, old customers, employees, vendors, it's all the brand. Branding is a very simple thing. When we see your logo, when we see you, what do we think? We psychologists say we think of the most recent example that we've heard or story we've heard and the most extreme. So let's go into today what it means when it comes down to your actual website. So if we're looking at this, Stuart mentioned the hierarchy of buying, and it's a very basic thing that we have come up with a very long time ago when it comes to hiring a service-based business. So you're hiring experts, you're hiring consultants, you're hiring for trainers or accounting, insurance, like all these things where it's you're hiring a professional service for something. This can be anything from, again, real estate to finance to management consulting and everything under the sun. And the goal here is very simple, is to the higher up the hierarchy you go, the less competition you face, because the more trust, the more relationship is formed. The goal here is to be at the very top. This is the top reason why somebody would hire a service-based business for their business. This was a B2B survey we did about it. And as you go up, so the last reasons why you'd hired somebody is they picked up the phone randomly and called you. Obviously, it makes sense because each one we go up, the higher the trust and the higher the focus and the higher the need and the understanding of what their needs are. And Stuart really resonated with this, and it's a great point for us to go into Stuart's site and how it all worked. So this is Masgroves, I believe. That's how I'm pronouncing it right now. And we try to stick with your yellow color that we have for you. You'll see on your site that we put around as a hue around my circle. It's very fancy. So we go to the site itself. And it's very clean. I love the simplistic look of websites, and this is what your site obviously has, and it renders fine on a mobile device, which is also fantastic. So you've already ahead of it. People usually say to me and ask, what do you see coming? What do you see coming in 5 years from now or in the future? Because when I talk about disruption and where disruption could take a hold also in the future. And I always respond when it comes to one of those marketing listicles they put out there with what I see coming is I don't want to be better at 2021. I need companies to be better at 2010 first or 2005 first, which is understanding that if I'm going to look at something on a phone, the experience should be made for that as well. And with a responsive design type of site like this one, you don't have to put the extra effort necessarily into it. So you pass the first test, which you'd be amazed how many people don't pass the first test still today. So good on you, as you'd say, across the pond there. So this is the bottom of the first page. And it's obviously what I said, a very simple site, but it's also, we would call it a brochure site. A brochure site is something that you get up there. It states the thing. It's the thing. This is what we do. That's the brochure, and here it is. And if you want us, here how you contact us. It's a brochure. It's like literally a tri-fold brochure or just a single fold, and you hand it to somebody, which gives you the basic of information, but then there isn't a lot to play off of. And so I want to break down the site itself and go into it. So at the bottom of the first page, you have a great testimonial from Steve here and his photo. You're hitting all the things already, right? Social proof is on here, right? They've got the picture, which is awesome. I assume he agreed to it. And if he didn't, okay, I won't tell him. But obviously you want to make sure that shows it, because testimonials have strength, right? And they certainly do. But the less you put in that testimonial, the less strength they have. If they're vague, if they're from, instead of, let's say this testimonial right here, if they instead put this exact testimonial, the exact text on there, but it was just from Steve, CEO of a consulting company, and no photo, you trust it less. Now, we're not saying anybody's a liar here, but we trust more when you have full name and company name and photo. That's a solid testimonial. So that's also well done here. So I'm going to get into a couple of things about this setup here, but both the case study you've got here, which is read the case study, and then the bottom, the footer of the site, because the footer obviously is a footer of a site, carries through everything else. It warms my heart that you have your newsletter sign up down there, because that's a great thing. Because I'm all about owning your following, owning your content, and having it on your own page. Because if you just build following, and this is coming from somebody who's a social media geek, love social media, built my following in social media, got the book deal because of that. But you got to own your own house, because if you build it on rented land, right, then the landlord who owns it, whether that's Facebook or LinkedIn or anywhere else, whenever they make a change, well, sorry, you don't own it. So I'm all about putting people towards here and getting them to sign up for that newsletter. Newsletters have never gone out of style. They've never gone. Email is always powerful if it's done well and done correctly. But this is the start. This is the start about owning that content and positioning, because then you can put the stuff out to them. You can put out the newsletter as you put right here. So let's go into that newsletter itself. So I signed up for it. And if you look here, it's nice. You talk about how you share the stories and inspire us in our newsletter. If you'd like to be inspired, simply sign up here. Very basic, very easy. I could nitpick here and say what's in it for the reader, but that would be nitpicking. But it would be because you're going to say, but inspires you, but it's more about me, the reader. But anyways, that's just nitpicking, and don't worry about that necessarily. So I signed up, and I got the automated message at the bottom here, and you say, thank you for your submission has been received. That's not it's not a proper sentence structure. It's either thank you for submission or your submission's been received, but that sentence doesn't work. Plus, received is spelled wrong. So you want to be the I before E except after C rule there. It's one who spells things wrong all the time. I totally understand. And one who just also redid their entire site and brand and everything else. I don't want to know how many errors are on there. And I've done the checks and the spell checks and the Grammarly, and they'll still find them. And don't worry, when you have it up there, the internet will let you know. Right? If you want to get traffic to your site, just misspell something and they'll come running. So I would do this, but also you have the ability here to then ask me to do something here. So I've signed up for your newsletter. So is it a confirmation? Like, do I need to confirm? And I know it's not, because I got the welcome email, and I'm going to get to that in a second. It's going to be the issue here of saying, check your inbox for your first edition, or your a hello should be in there. Just give me a command versus just saying it's very robotic, and it's very standard, but very robotic here that says that. Like, it's cited. Somebody just raised their hand and said, I want more from you. I like what I see here, and I want more. And this is the reply you get, which is, thank you for your submission. Now you can make up for it as well and you did. So you have one of the better response of a newsletter here. So I loved the welcome thing. I got it pretty quickly after I signed up. It's postcards from Wrexham, I believe. I apologize if I mispronounce anything in here. But hello to one of our favorite places across the pond. Hello from Canada. So I really like it when you have it set up. So thank you for subscribing. Once a month, we share ideas and stories that inspire us. So we hope they inspire you too. So it's a nice thing where you have once a month there. I really like that you've stated the frequency of it. And it kind of builds my expectation. And so then you have, over the next few weeks, we will introduce you to Masgroves, who we are and what we do. But I didn't sign up for that. I know who you are, what you do. I just signed up through your website. That's not leading to me being excited. I want to make sure. I thought it's a story that inspires you. So why not start the first edition? I'm signing up. Here's one of the biggest issues I find a lot of places will do here is that you have an ability to give your favorite one from past editions or something, because once we put them in a newsletter, we think that, well, that's now gone out to that group. So let's say I have 100 subscribers and I put out my first edition, my first newsletter sent out is my favorite inspiring story that has to do with something under your umbrella, but it works. Okay, it's not a pitch, but it's a story. But if I didn't sign up that week, when I sign up afterwards, I won't get your best story possible. So put that first inspiring story, give me a taste if you want. Give me a taste of it and saying, here's one of our favorites that we've sent out in the past that you won't get because you signed up now. Unless it's a sequential email series where no matter when they sign up, they get edition 1 and then 2 a month later, then 3. But if this is more of a real time, meaning whenever somebody signs up, they get the next edition, because it also gives me a little more content and it helps position you. Let's say you sent out the newsletter yesterday and I signed up today, you're doing it monthly, I will not hear from you with any kind of positioning content for 29 or 30 days. As opposed to if I sign up today and your next newsletter goes out tomorrow, then that's like a double hit. But position it already, or keep it very basic. But I would take out that second paragraph. Then this is where you really start getting it. But this is where I want to focus on here. You said, while you're here, can we ask you to follow us on LinkedIn? We share events, articles, lots of free stuff people seem to love. Just click here and hit the follow button. It couldn't be easier. So you've gone from an ask to an ask. So you ask them, hey, sign up on our newsletter. So you've got them. They raised their hand. They said, I want to learn more from you. I'm moving up that hierarchy. Okay, so then I immediately get into the newsletter. And the first thing I see is I'm not going to get the inspiration. I'm going to get about your company over the next couple of weeks. And then also, hey, follow us on LinkedIn again. We need to stop asking those type of things. And I love asking questions in newsletters. For almost 20 years, I've had the same exact question in my newsletter sign up. But it's very basic. Okay, the welcome newsletter says very basic. Thank you so much for subscribing. We know how crowded an inbox can get, and we are honored we have a slot within it, and that's true. May we ask what line of business you're in? It helps us. I'm always fascinated by who signs up for the newsletter, and it helps us kind of tailor the content to our subscribers. Thanks so much. And that's it. Every day, sometimes, almost every day for 20 years, I get a response from that. On my phone, I get it in my pocket, and I get to see, and they're like, hey, I'm here. And I have people from around the world, all different industries. And then sometimes I even reply back to them saying, hey, thanks so much. Welcome to the newsletter. But I usually look for something as a common bond because I'm flattered. I'm flattered that somebody signs up for a newsletter. That's so cool. I love it. And so if you want to ask them a question, don't ask for another favor. Ask them and say, hey, where are you in the world? Or what industry are you in? The industry question's a real good one. I like the industry question because it can be vague a bit. And some people will reply and they'll say, I'm in this industry. Actually, I'm at this company. I'm in this state or this town or this country or whatever it is. Like they give all the information. And some people just reply with the industry, like literally real estate, whatever it is, which is fine. And then I reply back and they usually get blown away because they think it's automated, which the welcome is, but I see them and I reply to them. And that's how you connect with people. That's how you become from a brand to a connection to trust as well. And I would go that way with it. So let's go back now to the case study. So I click on the case study, which is good. My lips are getting wet. I'm salivating. I'm like, yes, good. We're going to get into the meat of it, which is good. And then we go to the page itself. And you can read it, so it's structured well. It's fairly brief, but that's okay. I got no problem with brevity when it comes to these type of things. Usually they're way too wordy and way too over the top when it comes to that way. So if you look at, by the way, I just realized I aligned the logos underneath me, just not on center too much, and it's driving me insane. So any visual person here, it's also going to be driving you insane. But this is the whole case study. Okay, this is the whole page. I cut out the header and the footer, but this is the page, right? So this is the guts of it. So when I click here, a lot of times with websites, what we build is we build it like a house where the front door and our front entrance, it's the grand front entrance. It's the grand hallway and the staircase and where you want to go. But a lot of people will also come into a website from the side door, the back door. Okay, we have a mucking room here, a mud room here, where it's just, we don't want anybody entering in there because it's muddy and it's where we put all the stuff and we don't want to. But that's where most people don't come in the front door of your site necessarily, depending on how they found you. So if I land, let's say on this, somebody says, hey, we should hire this company. And they're like, well, let's say, I read a case study, and they send you a direct link to this page. Well, what you're missing here is that hugely powerful testimonial. That's strong social proof. So even with that tweak, I would just add it to the end, to the bottom. Say the result, ? And then boom, testimonial again, like repeat it. I would put it again at the bottom. And then I would put a contact little form, submission form right below. Say, see if we can you be our next successful case study? Inquire here, whatever that's going to be. Okay, that's such gold. Put it on that page as well. It's a really important thing. Okay, if we go to the About Us. Okay, so we have the About Us when it comes down to, I'm not sure what you're doing with the capitalizations on the site as well, because strategy is sometimes capitalized and sometimes it's not. Titles like About Us, the use not capitalized with a period. And if that's the strategy, then okay, but it doesn't seem fully consistent on the site. So we look at the About Us. So you talk about what we do and we have here, but I have no names. I have no idea it's Stuart and Tony there. And I don't see you guys. It builds trust. Okay, if it builds trust, if I see your faces on here, and then a little bit about each of you if you want. And by the way, Stuart, you cannot hide that glorious face mane you have. It's full, it's strong, it's manscaped, it's just, give the beard the love it deserves. Put it up there. Let's put the you behind it, because when you are your authentic self, you have no competition. There are tons of consulting firms, tons of strategic firms, tons of management consultants. Your industry, as you know, I don't have to tell you this, is crowded. It always is crowded. It's always been crowded. What separates it? It's not usually what we think. It's actually you individually that can separate it. I want to trust you. I want to like you. I want to know you on this, at least this level. You can do the About Us, which is the company, and then about the two of you. You can have a little Stuart part, a Tony part, whatever the story is. Like, give me the story. Why did you start the company? Okay, because you say that's why we support leaders every day of their strategy journey. Tell me about this. Why you two? Why did you create this company? What did you notice out there? Give me the story. Give me the story. Because you're talking about what you can do for everybody else, but I want to know you. Even you talked about our proven URLAI methodology. There's nothing really on the site that brings me through that. You're just like, contact us and we'll do it. Well, if it's such a proven strategy, then break it down for me a bit. We hold so much close to the vest when it comes to, well, you have to hire us to do it. Well, no. You're gatekeeping the content, the information, and they're just going to walk by the gate, not even want to come in. Positioning is about putting what you know out there and showing people that you can give some tips, some strategy to help, because what's going to happen is people are going to see it. If they use it, they implement it, they're like, what else could they do for us? You want to kind of focus on that a bit. Now I'm back down to the footer, and this is usually the dreaded part of a lot of times on an assessment is the icons and the links, and some people forget they even have them or they don't have them. So let's break down the footer because it travels throughout the site, and we look at icons and we want to recognize them or not. Well, a lot of your icons might not be recognizable to people as well. So you have, like, when I looked at this, it looked like something that could potentially be a podcast or an RSS feed is the first logo. Vimeo I recognize as the second one, but not recognizable to everybody. LinkedIn, recognizable. And then the calendar with a check mark, which I assume was a book, a consulting call or something with you, but their icons are there. So I really want to I'm glad I clicked on them though, because most people don't really notice them. And I notice you got a freaking podcast that is mentioned nowhere on the site at all. What your site is lacking is content. You've got a brochure, but I need it to be a content hub, a catalyst for conversation, a place that creates that curiosity more, allows them to learn from you without having to contact you. And here's the thing, you've got the hard part has been done already. You've made the show, you've got the content. Okay, so let's go into that a bit right now. So right now you have, I believe it's, you have it hosted on a podcast type of site. I got to make sure I can, which one this is. I'm going to double check here. Excuse my rudeness for clicking on something else here. Yeah, so it's Podbean. Okay, so this is hosted through a Podbean. And awesome, but it undiscoverable on your site. You don't even know it exists necessarily. I don't know the metrics for the show itself, but it's not discoverable on your site right now. So when you go through this, first thing I would do with these things is I would get them transcribed. I would go to anywhere like, rev.com is the most popular one, and I do love a lot of what they do, because when I use Rev, I can upload the video of a podcast or the audio, but if I do it with a video, they will automatically sync it into YouTube for me transcribed, which will give me closed captioning, which is very important for a couple of reasons. One, people who listen with the sound off. Two, it's for accessibility. People need closed captioning, and it also gives you a transcription. Okay, and then I would take the transcription of the show itself. I then would create a page on your site for the show, for the Pull No Punches show, in the menu, and go into it. And that's where I'd put where you could also grab and listen to it, but also the content. Each episode would have its own episode page. And that's where then you'd put the transcript as text on the page itself. And they'd come out fully formatted if you wanted it. It doesn't. An SRT file is a file used for closed captioning, but they'll just transcribe it. They'll put the names, put everything else for about $1.25 a minute. And for if your show's 20 minutes or 30 minutes, that's worth $30-$40 for content itself, that you can actually get it out there when we add it to the actual site. And then I would add listening options, because right now I click on it, it just opens Podbean. Okay, well, and a lot of people who may be listening to podcasts or whatnot it's Apple, it's now Spotify is one of your biggest ones coming up right now. But you just kind of push me to Podbean, and I can listen either in the browser, especially if I don't have a Podbean app. And that's not the way I want the path of least resistance leading to your show going into my ears. So I'm going to add type of things to this. So I had to go look for the show. Okay, I had to go look for the show that it actually is listed on iTunes. Yet it has a different logo than the actual one from Podbean. It's on Google Podcasts and through Android. I didn't find it on Spotify at all. So this is where you want to be able to do that. You want to be able to say, hey, it's none of your business which app they use to listen to a show. You just want them to consume the content. You want them to listen. So I would do something like I would go to use Chartable. I love Chartable.com. Chartable has got a great system where not only is analytics, and there's a lot of stuff you can get on their free account, but with Chartable, you can use something called Smart Links. And what I love about Smart Links with Chartable is you create a link. So we registered something like unpodcast. We did unpodcast.com. And when you click on podcast, it's a redirect. And Chartable then will look and they'll figure out what that person is clicking on their phone, what their preferred podcast listening method is. So when I clicked on my phone just before coming on to record this, to show you, I put in unpodcast.com in my Chrome browser on my phone, and it just popped the Unpodcast on the Apple iTunes store. And that's how I listen to podcasts. So you'll notice that way there. So if you did a URL, I just registered the URL and then went to Chartable and put it in there, and then it just will do the redirect for you. You have to put where your show is on each destination, but then it kind of does that work for you, and it gives you analytics of people clicking on it, shows you who clicked on it, also shows you where you rank in the charts for a podcast, and shows you what your listeners are using, and also where they are, which is also very important for a lot of different reasons. I clicked on the Vimeo link and looked at some of the videos. And of course, these are also pretty hidden, right? Unless it's the Vimeo one. These should be up on the site as well. This Thursday brunch live, the content is fantastic. That should be transcribed. That should be created. And one of the things you can do with the transcription as well is create articles out of it. Like take a transcription and take the best of and then highlight it. Then you get to link back to the show itself if people want to listen. You can embed that Podbean player on the page itself with the write-up and the transcription of it. You then get to link to people's sites who come on as your guests. They appreciate that. They get a track back kind of link notification that a lot of people do that said, hey, your site's been linked to by this show. And they're like, oh, that's very nice. It makes them want to promote the show more as well, potentially. So you have a lot of unmined content, which is good. It's good, by the way. This is a good thing. This is not a negative thing here, meaning you have less work to do to just put existing content into the site. And you've got some great videos. You guys are great together. I do have an issue with the audio, and audio is more important than video to me. That you want to be able to make sure that it's clear. And I can see here you've got one of those catch boxes, those throw microphones. That was all the rage for events. And I have my own issues with them, and I won't get into them that much because this is about you right now. But what that does is it picks up the room sound. And the problem is it sounds like you're picking up the room sound, and that's not good for if I'm just going to listen, even watch a video. I would really invest in some lav mics or a couple of the very basic kind of ones, whether they're a Blue or a Rode, any of those type of mics where you can have them even sitting. They can still sit on the table like that. They can sit there and kind of just be directionally at you. Right? But then you can hear this. You can't hear what's going on in my house right now necessarily, but because the mic is focused on it, focus on the audio of that. Because then what happens here in the video is you can record it, right? And then it turns into a podcast. You're interviewing people, but that audio, if it's quality, that becomes an episode of the podcast and a video and written content for your site. I am so much about not only evergreen content, but reusable. What am I doing? And repurpose the content. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Where then I want to make a video, because then I can take the video, and it's video content, audio, podcast, audio clips, and then text. Because instead of redoing the content 3 different ways, because we can do it. But if we start with the base of high quality audio and or video itself. And then we have the last home, which is the calendar, which shows me to the events you have. So this is very underutilized. I don't know if it's a placeholder right now, but if you're doing events and they're this week and then next month, they got to be on the site. They got to be, why am I going to sign up for it? What's the point? Join our waiting list, join the guest list. The waiting list is ? Guest list is not, and then book now. What's the difference? So waiting list for a virtual thing. Why value led companies always win. Why value led companies always win the after party. So it's a virtual event. I don't know why you have a waiting list. It's weird. I don't know if it's like a club and you're just trying to pretend people are lined up for it, or what it is, or it's limited. It's digital. So I'm trying to figure out why. But this is not even on the site. It's just a little icon. So if you're going to do these things, then boof, up on the site as well. Let's push them out there. Let's get them up there. Let's make them work. So I hope that was helpful, Stuart. I really do. I really appreciate you throwing the feet to the fire and jumping in. And I really think you're already there when it comes to the design of the site, the base of the site, and how it goes. You just got to take the content you've already got and mine it for the goal that's already there, and you'll be positioned so much better with a lot less effort. Hope this was helpful. If you want an assessment of your own type of stuff, you can go to unmarketing.com. It's right there, and let us know. We'll be doing some more kind of freebies like this because we want to use it for public reasons. And if you rather do it for free and you don't mind publicly, then drop by LinkedIn on this post if you're watching this on LinkedIn, or go to my profile on there, either the Unmarketing Company or Scott Stratton, and we'll see if we'll put you in the queue. And if it gets done, it gets done. Take care, and drop by Unmarketing anytime. Integrity, authenticity, and community.